It's a nice feeling every time I come here, especially every time. By the way, to everybody, first of all, thank you so much for the invite, ma'am. It's always an honor to come and talk to all these young, lovely, pretty, some of them I can't see also people. Okay. By the way, happy Women's Day. It was yesterday, right? It's every day.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's every day. Okay, so every time somebody wishes you happy Women's Day, you say, yeah, I know that. I'm not going to take a lot of time, okay? Because when I was asked to, in fact, come and speak over here, I just wanted to talk about two aspects, that's it. Two things that triggered my mind and the avalanche that came after. Of course, in the mind, okay, is the only two things that I'm going to speak about. In fact, I'm going to start with a small confession. I know how much you love sitting here. Especially when the host said that the next speaker is like, you were like, oh. And I was like, oh God, now what? Huh? Because as soon as I walked into the auditorium, everybody, those claps of yours were an amazing sign to say, get out. Because those claps came so slowly, we were like, and by the time we sat, as much of energy that you all have, and as much of potential all of you have, I in fact dedicated my life to actually meet all of you, not just here in Mankamal, but around the country for a very specific reason. I know you're young, there's no doubt about that. And I also look young, that's also no doubt about that. One of my gurus, in fact, I want to share two aspects, two simple aspects, okay? And I also want a little bit of participation from you guys. Can you? Is that all right? Yeah, thank you. One of my gurus, his name is Earl Nightingale, okay? He spoke about something that completely changed my outlook towards my future, okay? And I'm going to give you that entire aspect. I want you to imagine 100 people in your mind in this room, okay? Not difficult, right? Or take random 100 people from here, okay, and make a note of all of what they're doing right now, send them to the outside world. And imagine that the average age in this room is 20. I know it's more, but I'll always reduce, because you like it, when the age of women is reduced 1 year. Okay, so take an average age of 20 and you take all the information from them, you send them to the outside world and you wait and hold on for 45 years. And you call them back when the age is 65. Yes. And when you look back, out of those 100 people, can somebody guess how many of them would be rich? 35? Okay, that's a number. 60. 16 or 60? 60. Oh, okay. 15? 15? I like that swag, by the way you said it. For one last time. You want to know what's the number? 1. 1 would be rich. Out of the 100 people, 4 would be self-reliant. They would have lived their life in such a way where we're not bothered about others. We've built a life enough to do great on our own. 5 would still be working. And 36 would be dead. 54 would be dependent on their children, pension, and God knows what not. And when you actually think about it, the 100% if you take, the success percentage was 5. You forgot the 4 self-reliant. Success percentage was? Isn't that scary? Because technically, in this entire auditorium, on an average, only 5% are going to become successful. And obviously, I'm not going to ask you that stupid question, which side do you want to be? Because you obviously would say, huh? Obviously, isn't it? But there's something that needs a reminder, especially from you guys, because it's easy to sit there on that chair and say, oh, obviously 5. Why would I want to be the other 95? And if you also process this information in your head, and ask this question: why is it that only 5% have the chance of getting successful, and how come the other 95 are going to live mediocre lives? You want to know why only 5% become successful? Yeah. Every time I meet education institutions, every time I meet youngsters like you guys, I find one irony in the entire education system. It's not just in India, around the world. You know what the irony is? Your teachers actually work more hard to make sure you pass, not you. And you sit there in those classrooms, look at your teachers and judge them. Have you ever got into the heads of your teachers because they're worried? Every time they turn towards the board, they're like, can they understand? And you're like, no matter how hard you try, closed, temporarily. Or the leakages that are there, through that it can go, but it will never go willfully. That's one. And that's the biggest irony. The second biggest irony is your parents actually have to work more hard from the time you were born, celebrated that birthday, and started saving to say, ki meri beti. And you, oh my God, you are amazing. You know why? Because students are the only category in the entire world who pay money to run away from what they paid. Because I know how you look down on your own classmates who sit inside the class, and that especially that one girl who has the 100% attendance. You're like, 100%? Because for all of you, it's cool to bunk. But many of you don't understand that you were the fool who paid to bunk. You know what's the one change that's going to hit the hardest? All of you who are juniors up there, who are conveniently ignoring because of the light, sorry. Everybody here in this auditorium. I'm sorry to everybody in this auditorium. One of the biggest change that's going to hit you from corners that you never imagined is your entire college system and school system. This is for the 95% of the people here. You need to hear this from me. You know why the 95% don't become successful? Because their entire school system and in the entire college system, they were told to do. And you did. Go. Okay. Go to school. Oh, okay. The same thing. No? You always looked at others. You wanted your teachers to instruct you constantly. You wanted your parents to push you. You wanted your friends to. And when nobody was there, you saw the audience, the janta, the crowd, and followed what they did. What to do? Okay. You're gonna do the same thing. Imagine, for 21 years, that habit doesn't break in 2 days. And you will realize that in the 1 year or 2 years, you will also be part of that same habit, following others and not doing what you want. That's one big problem that needs change. Listen to yourself for God's sake. Ask, what is your calling? Instead of meh, meh, and meh, meh, in all possible directions. That's one. Second, which is very, very important, and I'm here only for this reason, is ask this question to yourself. The grades, the marks that you get, no doubt you celebrate. But in true sense, they don't talk about you. You know why? Because it doesn't matter what you did that semester. It doesn't matter all the days. You know what matters? One day. Correction. One night. Before the exam. It's the art of. And then the art of. That fetches you the marks and you're like, yeah. And in that also there are some of you who would have actually spent all the time and in the morning exam, what happened? Didn't study only. And when you get highest, you're like, don't know. If you think that your future is also going to be like that, I'm very sorry, it's not going to be like that. Your manager is not going to meet you after 1 year for the first time and say, my team, oh. Which paper? My paper. Oh. Get 100 and you'll get 100% bonus. No. You know that fight there when you start working is every day. What you do every day is what you get. You do nothing, no secret you get nothing. You can't sit there and cry, no kissing. How come I studied one day before? I did no yesterday, I did work, no. I came no, to the office. Please. You can't do that. Every day matters. Change that. Please change that. Especially the ones who still have one more year, my advice is, you couldn't have got it the right time. Start making every day count today. Because you know what's the one thing that I do every single day before I go to bed? Did I make my day count? And I'm not joking. Did I make my day count? Because if I get a no, I get scared. Because where will that become a habit, and where I will very soon be part of the 95% which I don't even realize. That's what I live my life based on. That's one. Second. Yeah, I know that. Second, I'm going to very quickly. Yeah. The second aspect is, you in your college and in your school life have lived in the most protective environment ever. Your teachers have always been there for you to save you from drowning. Even though you got that feeling that you were drowning, but in a 3 feet shallow pool you can never drown. Because you haven't seen the depths of the ocean yet. You just have been in a protective environment by your parents, and your teachers are like, and everything is nice. But trust me, the minute you get out of this college, and if you start to work, and the rest of you who want to do a master's, best of luck for another 3 years, or 2 years minimum, I think, you'll understand one thing. When you start working, a lot of changes are going to come your way. And all of those changes, you know how they work? They work just like, every lake, or rather big lakes that sort of are connected to the sea. There are 3 phases of your life. Swimming pool, river, and then the ocean. When you pass out, you go through that river. Lot of changes, massive changes. Because when I ask students what are the changes that you go through, people say, before we paid, now we get. Casuals, formals. Late, now can't be late. Serious, very serious. That's a joke, I know that. But whenever I ask again students that, 1 minute, hold on. Weren't these asked by the college also? They say, yeah, but we never followed. They're same things. Now that they're going to be hardbound. They're going to be more serious about all of the aspects. Change now, if not. See, there are 2 ways swimmers swim. One with the tide, and against the tide. No matter whether you want to change or not, the tide will change you. The best of swimmers are wise swimmers. They swim with the tide because they swim faster. But if you stand there and say, no, I don't want to change, and then swim against, you'll be bruised, but ultimately the river will take you there. And that's my advice. Change when you need to. And of course, I'm not asking you to change completely. I don't want you to be, Sita and then become Geeta as soon as you pass. No. Get the best, the chirpy ones, the bubbly ones, the happy ones. Let the best version of you go there. And all the ills and evils, stay here. Not here literally, I mean, in this current phase of your life, and go. Because each and every one of you, you know what, is not made differently. Some of you are not made in China. Some of you are not made in Japan. That you can say it's inferior quality. You're made in China. All of us are special. And all of us become special if we decide on one thing. I strongly believe in this. I strongly believe in this. You can become anybody who you want to become. Are you willing to work towards it? Then the world is yours. But if you're going to sit and do the typical Indian system, no? They say, Kismat mein jo likha hai. Likha nahi hai. Have you ever read anybody's forehead? Failure. It's you who writes it, and it's you who constantly looks in the mirror and reads it. You can become anybody who you want to become. I want to talk more, but I'm not going to do that. I wish you best of luck to everybody in this room, of course, including me. Do good, do wonders. Have a very, very good day. See you all. Bye-bye. Thank you.